Welcome back to Don's Life, welcome to the channel. Today is very exciting. We've officially partnered with KUAT. They make the IBEX rack system, which will attach to my EGR electric roll track. You may have seen in a previous video, we took off the sport bar from EGR. That's because we had to make room for this, and it's very exciting. Let's go. So this past November, Mrs. Don's Life and I attended SEMA. It was our first time there. EGR actually connected us with KUAT, and they agreed to set me up as an ambassador for their great brand. And we're gonna take a closer look at the products they sent us today. So as you can see, we have a ton of boxes here. KUAT was very generous in sending all of this over. It did come from the US. I'm up here in Canada. It's close to Christmas. I'm missing one box. I'm missing another one of these MOLLE panels right here, but that's okay. It might get here before we finish this video up. For now, I'm just gonna unbox this and show you what we have, and then hopefully we can get it all installed. Well, we have some good news. The missing MOLLE panel has arrived. Now for continuity purposes, even though it is several days later, I'm wearing the same wardrobe because I don't want you to be too confused in this video. But we are gonna start with the install, and I thought how I would treat this. Even though we have a number of different packages from KUAT, I think that we should start from the beginning. So we'll start with some adapters that we're going to set up on the bed rails for the EGR roll track. And then we're going to start to assemble the IBEX system before we look at any of the other accessories that you can look at putting onto this. So I've got some of the goodies laid out on the tables over here. Trust me, I'm running out of table space because we have so many things. But these are the bed rail adapters. Now with anything that you get from KUAT, is all of them come with these little booklets here, which are going to include a QR code. Once we scan that QR code, it is going to take us directly to the instructions to help us out. Now, I'm guilty of being a pretty organized guy, so I like to lay out everything and know exactly where it is. So I know that this is the hardware kit for this adapter system. There are going to be 24 bolts in there, and there are going to be 12 T-nuts and 12 tonneau T-nuts. So a lot of T-nuts. So just in case you missed it or you're a little confused, again, I have an EGR roll track tonneau cover on my GMC Sierra AT4. That means I have to use these adapters to connect the IBEX system. If you don't have a compatible retractable bed cover, they do ship you the clamps that are going to secure the rack to your bed rails and make sure that the IBEX system is solid and not going to move. So we're not going to use these clamps in this install, but in the instructions, it's going to show you how to use these. So these bigger ones are for the tonneau cover side. We need 6 of them for each side, so I'm just going to slide them into the T-channel here. It's like a little game. I do like curling, and curling is a Canadian sport. So I just want to line up these T-nuts roughly with these holes, and then we will just have them kind of started, and then we can adjust where we want it. All right, the adapters are now installed. We've left them loose. Later, we'll have to torque them down to 20 to 24 Newton meters. I like using this little torque wrench here. I'll link it in the video description below, but this is quite handy. Okay, as you can see, we've made some extra room here. We put some stuff on the floor because I know I don't need it until later. We're gonna start assembling these pieces here, which make kind of the hoops or the rings, which end up going on the truck like this. So first we locate part number B. You can see here, this is what it looks like. There is a top and a bottom. This is the top because it's finished, and the bottom is unfinished. So that'll make contact with my tonneau cover or my bed rails. But here we have to take off these caps, and that will expose some bolts that we have access to. And also, so we have bolts to go this way into the rails on the side. But when you're doing that, you can decide, do you want to be full height, which this is. We have a full height system here. So something like that, if you can imagine, same height as the cab roughly. Or you can take out this middle section right in here, and you can put the two ends together, and then you have a mid-height configuration. So if you wanted to stack a tent on top, it'd be roughly the same height as the cab. That's kind of the idea. Or if you don't want the full look, you can go with that mid-height look, and then you can get special MOLLE panels for it and different attachments depending on really what your setup needs are. But for us, we're going big, so we're gonna keep them full size. But either way, we gotta take off each of the caps, starting with part number B. Here's where the bolts are if we were to go to the mid-height configuration. But like I said, we're gonna leave it just like this. But now we have access to run bolts through this way on both sides, so we can connect it to part number G and E. Now don't be alarmed, there are two part number Gs, but there's only one E and one F. So this is okay, nothing was shipped wrong. All right, those are secured. They're actually torqued down. You don't have to use a torque wrench. They do have torque specs of 16 to 20 Newton meters, but it does say you can tighten by hand within that range. I just want to be a perfectionist and I have the tool, so I'm using it. Now we can put these covers back on, and then we have to do the other side. All right, now locate part A, which is here, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on this side, and we'll have one complete unit ready to go. Well, that one's done. Hopefully it was easy to follow along. I'm gonna replicate the exact same thing with the extra pieces right here, and then it's gonna get real spicy. All right, things are coming along nicely. We got both sides assembled. Just look at the quality. This is all aluminum, guys. Powder coated, matches the EGR roll track perfectly. I'm really excited to see this all put together and up there. Now your normal inclination would be to lift these up, secure them to the bed rails, and start putting the crossbars on. That's false. You actually want to assemble it here on a flat surface. That way we have all the rigidity, everything's nice and square, and then we can lift it up with a second pair of hands and put it onto the truck. So we're going to install these cross rails right now. I'm not going to do it on the floor, even though it is nice and flat, but it's dirty because it's winter here. So you'll see me struggle a little bit here, putting this together. So we're going to flush mount the two crossbars that come with the IBEX system. You can get a third bar, plus they have a riser kit, so you can raise all of the bars and make them a little bit higher in case you want to put something on there to clear the cab and have a lot of room, because maybe you have a rack up there or something, you need a little higher. So we'll get to that, but we're going to do it the flush way for now, see what it looks like, and we can make adjustments later. Now, if you're wondering how to identify front from back, well, the back have these strips on them. So this black strip does not exist on the other side. So knowing that this is the bottom because it's unfinished, and this is the black strip, we know this is the passenger side. So next we need to feed some T-nuts into these rails. If I lift it up in the proper position, you can see there is a top channel and this side channel. We got to go in the side channel. So we're going to slide one there, one at that end, one at that end, one at this end, and then we're going to take the rails and pass the bolt through here and start securing it all. So wish me luck. Now to make sure this is square, I used a bit of a trick here. I took some tape and made the opening for the T-nut the width of a piece of tape, and then I have the rail come right up to that line. So you can actually wrap it around like this, and that's gonna make it really easy to line up these bars, making sure everything is square. So to show you, now that that side is tightened down, and here's my tape, I can just gently slide this into place, make sure I'm just hitting the tape here, and now I can secure these bolts. But wait, there's more. Now we have to take these stiffening plates and they go right under here like that. How are they secured, you ask? Easy. T-nut, another T-nut, and then you align the plate and then you put in your bolt and washer. So funny thing, in all the excitement, I realized I can torque this down now according to the instructions. I just want to make sure that the spacing is the same on both sides, one for aesthetics and one so I know that it's lined up properly. But we also put T-nuts on the side rails in here, so we'll be able to slide this into position even though this is torqued down. So let's do this quick. Now to make placement a little easier, I want to have this kind of spread apart the right distance to go from rail to rail. If I measure to the outside of each of these brackets, 64 inches should do it. Maybe we'll go 64 in a little bit. And right now, if we measure to the inside, we are only around 59 inches. So we got to spread it out way over here. Now to do that, you notice we have two colors of T-nuts. We have to back off the orange one, and that will allow this to be loose and it actually expands. We'll make sure this one's the same, nice and loose. Now we should be able to spread this apart. Now it's a little easier if we push from the middle. I knew this old broomstick that busted would come in useful one day. $64 on the money, but a little bit more is always good. I wonder why this is here. Well, my friends, we're at the point in the video now where we get to take the IBEX rack and we get to put it on the back of the truck. Now I know I'm super strong and I could do it myself, but I'm really not into showing off. So I'm gonna volunteer Mrs. Donslife to give us a hand. All right, Mrs. Donslife is here.
I was voluntold.
You were voluntold. Now I've heard from a birdie that you're accident prone. So I put this stuff here.
Me, accident prone? What are you talking about?
Maybe just a little. So this stuff's here so we don't scratch the wrap. But if we scratch the wrap, at least we're not scratching the paint. So it's muscle time, but we're gonna lean my side on here, or rest it on here. I'll climb into the back and then we will lift it the rest of the way.
How much does this weigh?
492 pounds.
I don't know if I can lift this. Oh my God.
It's not that bad.
Oh my God. Okay.
How's that?
That's not so bad.
That's not so bad, right?
Oh.
Okay, nice and steady. I put cardboard up there in the front so we don't, if you can hold it right there.
Yeah.
But that cardboard's there so it don't hit the cab.
Oh, could you imagine smashing your window?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
That would be so bad.
Truck locked itself. Let's unlock it here.
I know I look tough, but this is really heavy.
Okay, now you're getting it.
Okay.
Okay, just hold it for a second. Back your way a bit. I gotta get on the inside of it. You got it?
Oh my God, I think so.
Man, you're tough. I'm gonna tell all my friends.
Okay, it's getting really heavy. Oh my God.
Okay, hold it.
Yeah.
I'll get my front. You're good?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay.
Oh, good thing I measured. Look how close it is now. Now you want to pull out those rags?
Okay.
Beautiful. And I'm talking to you.
I'm good?
You are more than good. Thank you for your help, lovely lady. And I'm gonna keep working on this and then I'll show you what it looks like after.
Okay.
Well there, this protective measure doesn't need to be there anymore. Now it does recommend that when you move this up, that we leave 1.5 inches from the back of the cab. So let's do that. You can literally slide it with one hand. So I'm gonna go with lined up with here for now. We can always adjust it. Now that this is up here, we're just gonna loosen this a little bit again. We're gonna need to be able to push this together to get these butted up nice and tight. Now we take our T-nuts, slide them in. Take our bolt. I'm just catching a couple threads here. I'm not really tightening it up yet because I want to make sure it's aligned. But I also don't want this to fall off because our crossbars are loose right now. So I'm just going to do this on the other side quick. At least now I know it can't fall while I'm working on it. Now I can make my adjustments to the front, make sure it's exactly squared off. Then I'll take the rest of the T-nuts, Put 2 there, slide 2 in from here. Same on the other side. Secure them down, and then we'll retighten this, and then everything should be in the right position, nice and solid. So funny thing, we're just getting started. We still got to put on the MOLLE panels, and then we'll have a mostly complete IBEX truck rack system for my GMC Sierra AT4. Now that the main assembly is done and it's on the truck, we have a lot more room to work. So I'm gonna bring my car back in here, reposition the truck, and then we'll get these MOLLE panels installed. So I'll be the first to say it does look incomplete. It looks like a windowless canopy at this point, but trust me, it's gonna come together. We gotta get these MOLLE panels installed, and then our IBEX truck rack system will look a lot better and more complete sitting on top of the truck. And remember from the unboxing, we got a lot more to put on. I got stuff everywhere. So while we're up here, I'll mention that some of these connections, they do recommend using thread sealer. I'm not going to do that yet because I still have some things I want to change. I'll be pulling this bar in, adding another one. Maybe we'll do risers, maybe we won't. We're gonna probably put the light bar back on, so we're at least using it for a while. I haven't decided if we're gonna add the extra camera that I already have. Now that I don't have a sport bar, that camera's not obstructed, so it would work just fine. So I might just reconnect that camera and then have the other one for down the road if we change something up here. But without further ado, let's install these MOLLE panels. Now to secure these, yes, you guessed it, more T-nuts. So we have a channel under here. You're gonna have to undo this stiffening plate just on one end so you can slide all the T-nuts in. And then on the bottom, there's a free channel on the inside here. We gotta slide them in there. So 3 on the bottom, 3 on top. Now it does kind of rest up and inside, so there's a little bit of flex that's involved. There we go. And in shipping, some of these tabs might just be off a little bit, but that's to be expected. So like before, we'll just get one started. Okay, that shouldn't fall. And then we just want to make sure our spacing is the same right in this gap on the ends. It feels like about 1/4 of an inch. Looks good. This one here is bent a little bit. I'm hoping the tab will bend itself back as we tighten it up. I think you get the idea. Now we'll do the other side and then we'll take a look. Well, there we go. We have it all installed, but we did say we'd show Mrs. Dawn's life what it looks like. So let's go grab her now.
What are you doing?
I told the audience I was gonna grab you.
Oh my God.
Well, it's all done. I just wanted you to come and see. Well, I shouldn't say it's all done. This is just kind of like the skeleton with the MOLLE panels on it. I've got lots of other accessories. What do you think?
I think it's cool. You can add all the accessories. Can't make it girly, but...
Well, we could, but people might stop watching. You'll probably stop watching, so we'll keep it as manly as possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, joking aside, what do you really think? Like, come stand over here.
No, it looks really good. I like it. It's definitely a different look than your sport bar, for sure.
Really, really solid. Like, I'm shaking the whole
You're
truck.
making the whole truck shake.
We could put lumber for all your crafts.
Yes, that's perfect.
1,200 pounds of weight. That'll hold a tent.
And a couple of me in there.
Yeah, a couple of you.
A couple of me.
I'd be happy to have a couple of you there as long as we're not shopping. And I would be able to fit in there, but it will do 1,200 pounds with static weight and 300 pounds dynamic. We can add our mountain bikes to the side without blocking what we put on the MOLLE panel in most cases. So it's pretty cool. But we got a MOLLE panel to put in here, which we'll do in the next video. We've got some grab handles, we've got some other goodies. I have a ton of lighting to still put on. Now you're not gonna say anything on camera, but we have a couple more things, 3 more things we're picking up that we're gonna add to this build.
Yes.
Do you think they'll fit nicely?
Yes, I think they'll be perfect.
It'll definitely complement what we're doing here. And it's not a rooftop tent, in case somebody was wondering that.
No, I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, you're a hotel or glamping type personality. Well, we got the seal of approval from Mrs. Dawn's Life.
Yep.
That's all I need. You can like it, not like it. She likes it. I'm good with that. Definitely check out KUAT's website. I'll leave links in the video description below. And Mrs. Dawn's Life always wants to practice these outros, so I'm gonna let her take us out.
Okay, let's do this. If you like this video, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing, I think, maybe.
She's right. We'll talk to you next time.
If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. I can't do it.
Why? You're putting so much pressure on
It's
yourself.
so hard. If you like this video, please like it. All right, no.
It's not like, there's a button, you just hit it. It says like.
Okay, if you like this video, please hit that like button and please consider subscribing. My voice is gone.